maybe because of network errors. After some time, it will become okay. Fine. Is my voice reaching now? Ujit, are you able to listen me clearly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think the voice problem is over now. So I'm going to start the presentation. Now listen. The very first chapter, that is matter in our surrounding, we studied through Zoom app. In Zoom app, I was not able to show you many presentations. So today we will have quick revision of that chapter, and after the quick revision, there will be revision of some question answers. Today in this class, we will have full revision of the chapter, and after that we'll come to our new chapter that is in progress. Fine. So I'm going to start the presentation. So what are you able to see on your screen? Can anyone read
If
what
you
is written on
want,
your screen?
if you want to hear God laugh,
And then tell him your plans. The message clearly says, if you want your prayers to be heard by God, you must keep on smiling. You must laugh. Okay? Don't cry and tell your feelings and your plans to God. First laugh and then tell your plans to God. God will definitely listen. So here comes your classroom corridor. Can you see your classroom corridors?
yes, sir.
Are you feeling happy to see your school?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
After a long break, you are able to see your classroom where you usually were roaming here and there in this corridor. Fine. So let's see the chapter topic. The first chapter is matter in our surrounding. What is matter? Any or everything present in our surrounding. The examples
Sir,
of
your
matter are
voice is
solid,
not
liquid,
clear. Sir, your voice is
electricity.
not clear.
Because my voice is not clear, that I came to know. But the problem may be a network problem for your side or somebody's mic must be. So all of you switch off your mic first. Okay. So since it will be a quick revision, what we'll do, I'll read very fast. Try to match the voice with whatever is written on the PDF. Things which do not have mass and which do not occupy space are not matter. For example, heat, light, magnetism, vacuum, shadow, feeling of love, affection, hatredness, etc. not matter. What is the physical nature of matter? Matter is made up of extremely small particles which are called atoms or molecules. How can we prove that particles of matter are made up of extremely small particles? We have to take 2-3 crystals of potassium permanganate and dissolve them in 100 ml of water. Alright, so out of this, we have to take 10 ml of this into 90 ml of clear water. Then again, take 10 ml of this solution and put it into another 90 ml of clear water. Keep diluting the solution 8 times. The procedure is shown in the figure. First, we dissolve some crystals of chematophore, potassium permanganate, and then in the second picture, we are turning 10 ml of this solution to different beakers, and we are observing that every time the color of the solution is pink, though the intensity of color or brightness of color decreases slowly. This means that even a small crystal of potassium permanganate consists of millions and millions of smaller particles. So, in this way, we can prove that particles of matter consist of further smaller particles.
सर आपकी आवाज आ नहीं रही सर।
Yes, sir.
From my side, everything is okay.
सर अटक अटक के आ रही है बीच में।
सर बैकग्राउंड में काफी डिस्टर्बेंस है सर।
कौन से अच्छा मेरे बैकग्राउंड में?
यस सर।
हेलो, अभी क्या आवाज क्लियर हो गई मेरी?
यस सर।
Now is it fine, all of you?
Yes, sir.
यस सर।
Okay. It may be because the fan was switched on and fan's voice was reaching the recorder. Fine. If it is there, then okay. This was the first activity through which we were able to prove that matter is made up of extremely small particles. We already discussed this activity in the previous class, and if you have any doubt, you can ask. Wherever you have doubt, you can ask your doubts. Otherwise, I'll go through this PPT very fast because it's simply a revision. Then characteristics of particles of matter are very small. They have interparticle spaces between them. The particles of matter attract each other. The particles of matter are continuously moving. Then one activity, how to prove that particles of matter have spaces between them. Take 100 ml cylinder, fill half the cylinder with water and mark the level of water. Now dissolve some common salt or sugar with the help of glass rod. Observe any change in water level. What will happen? Will the level of water rise or fall? We'll observe that the level of water remains unchanged on addition of some quantity of salt or sugar in it. Why? Because there are large interparticle spaces in water molecules as well as in salt molecules or sugar molecules. And the particles of these substances occupy these interparticle spaces between each other. Therefore, there is no any change in the level of water inside beaker. So this activity proves that particles of matter have spaces between them. Now the third activity to prove that particles of matter attract each other. For this, we have to take two glass beakers and fill them with water. Put a drop of blue or red ink slowly and carefully along the sides of first beaker and honey in the same way in the second beaker, and leave them undisturbed and record your observation. What you can see in the picture. In the first picture, there is a glass containing water in which some blue ink is poured. We can see that the blue ink is dissolving fast, whereas in the second beaker, some honey is added to the water and honey is dissolving into the water very slowly, so it is not spreading. All right, so this activity proves that ink has lesser interparticle force of attraction, whereas honey has greater interparticle force of attraction. Therefore, ink is dissolving fast and honey is dissolving slowly. Then another activity to prove that particles of matter move continuously. Here there is unlit incense stick. To have the smell of this unlit incense stick, we have to go very close to it because its particles are diffusing very slow. But when it is lit, you can see the fumes. The fumes of incense stick are spreading very fast. That means the particles of matter move continuously and the rate of motion of particles of matter increases with increase in temperature. As the temperature increases, the rate of spreading of particles of matter also increases. Then here is another concept that is known as Brownian motion. The zigzag movement or random movement, irregular movement of particles of matter was noticed by Robert Brown when he put some pollen grains on water. This zigzag motion or random motion of particles is known as Brownian motion, as it was discovered by Robert Brown. You can see in this picture, Brownian motion. Some red colored pollen grains put over the surface of water. These pollen grains are moving here and there randomly in any direction. This random motion or zigzag motion of particles is called as Brownian motion. In the second picture, you can see the scales of measuring temperature. There are three scales of measuring temperature. First scale is Kelvin scale, second scale is degree Celsius scale, and the third scale is Fahrenheit scale. In Kelvin scale, the freezing point of water is 273 Kelvin, whereas it is 0 degree Celsius in Celsius scale and 32 degree Fahrenheit in Fahrenheit scale. The boiling point of water in degree Celsius scale is 100 degree Celsius. In Kelvin scale, it becomes 373 Kelvin, and in Fahrenheit scale, it becomes 212 degree Fahrenheit. The normal body temperature of human beings is 37 degrees Celsius, which is equal to 98.6 degree Fahrenheit in Fahrenheit scale and 310 Kelvin in Kelvin scale. Fine. What is diffusion? The spontaneous intermixing of particles of matter, its own, is called diffusion. Diffusion is fastest in gases and slowest in solids. Here there is a relationship between different scales of measuring temperature. For example, degree Fahrenheit equals 9/5 into degree Celsius plus 32. So if we know the temperature in degree Celsius scale, we can easily convert it into degree Fahrenheit. Similarly, there is a relationship between Kelvin and degree Celsius. If you know the temperature in degree Celsius scale and add 273.15 into it, then we get the temperature in Kelvin scale. Is it clear? All right. Anyone can respond. Are you able to match the voice with the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Am I very fast or it's okay? Since it is revision, I need to be fast so that we can come to our topic fast. This is just a quick revision. Then we come to next part, states of matter. We know that there are 5 states of matter. These 5 states of matter are solid, liquid, gases, plasma, and Bose-Einstein condensate, which is abbreviated as BEC, BEC. What are solids? How can we define solids? Solids are the form of matter whose melting point lies above room temperature at 1 atmospheric pressure. What are characteristics of solids? They have definite shapes and distinct boundaries. They have fixed volume. They have large interparticle force of attraction. They have least interparticle spaces. They possess rigidity. They have high density. They do not fill the container completely. They do not flow. They do not possess the property of diffusion. Here in the picture, you can see the packing of particles of solids, liquids, and gases. In solids, the particles are very closely packed. That means they have very little interparticle spaces and large interparticle force of attraction. In liquids, these interparticle spaces are little bit larger. That means the particles of liquids are less closely packed and they experience lesser interparticle force of attraction. In gases, the interparticle spaces are too large. That means interparticle force of attraction is very, very less. All right. So what are liquids? Liquids can be defined as liquids are the form of matter whose boiling point lies above room temperature at 1 atmospheric pressure. What are the characteristics of liquids? They have indefinite shapes. They do not have fixed shapes. They have indefinite shapes and no distinct boundaries. They take the shape of the container in which they are kept. They have fixed volume. They have lesser interparticle forces of attraction than solids, but more than gases. They have larger interparticle spaces than solids, but lesser than that of gases. They possess fluidity, that is, they can flow. Their fluidity is lesser than that of gases. They have lesser density than solids, but their density is more than that of gases. They do not fill the container completely. They possess the property of diffusion, which is lesser than that of gases. Means the property of spreading or property of diffusion in liquids is lesser than that of gases, but greater than that of solids. Because liquid particles can move faster than solids, but they can move slower than gases. Next important state of matter is gases. How can we define gases? Gases are the form of matter whose boiling point lies below room temperature. जबकि liquid में boiling point क्या होता है? Above room temperature. In gases, the boiling point lies below room temperature at 1 atmospheric pressure. What are the characteristics of gases? They have indefinite shape and no distinct boundaries. They do not take the shape of container in which they are kept. They have indefinite volumes. They have least interparticle forces of attraction among solids, liquids, and gases. So among solids, liquids, and gases, which have minimum interparticle forces of attraction? Gases. They have larger interparticle spaces of they have larger interparticle force of attraction. Here spaces should be removed. It should be force of attraction. They have largest interparticle. Sorry. In the first point, they have least interparticle forces of attraction. Fine. They have largest interparticle spaces. It was correct. They are largest interparticle spaces. We need to remove attraction from here. All right. So now it is corrected. They have largest interparticle spaces among solids, liquids, and gases. They possess minimum fluidity among solids, liquids, and gases. Means their rate of flow is least among solids, liquids, and gases. They have least density among solids, liquids, and gases. What is density? The ratio of mass upon volume is known as density, and this is minimum in gases and maximum in solids. They fill the container completely as their particles possess free random motion. Only gaseous state can fill the container completely. Liquids and solids cannot fill the container completely. Why they can fill the container completely? Because they possess free random motion. They possess the property of diffusion, which is maximum among solids, liquids, and gases. So here is a table of comparison of properties of solids, liquids, and gases. First property, volume. Solids have definite volume, liquids have definite volume, gases have indefinite volume. Shapes. Solids have definite shape, liquids have indefinite shape, and gases have indefinite shapes. Interparticle space, least in solids, intermediate in liquids, and maximum in gases. Interparticle forces of attraction, maximum in solids, intermediate in liquids, and minimum in gases. Rigidity means hardness. It is just opposite of compressibility. So solids are rigid, liquids are fluids, means they are not rigid. Gases are maximum fluids, least rigid. What is compressibility? The property by which a substance can be pressed and deformed, or whose shape and size can be changed upon pressing. Okay. Solids are incompressible, liquids are almost incompressible, gases are highly compressible. What is diffusion? Diffusion means spreading power. How much a substance can spread automatically or spontaneously. So solids do not diffuse, liquids diffuse slowly, and gases diffuse rapidly. What is kinetic energy? The energy possessed by a body due to its state of motion, due to its speed, is known as kinetic energy. Solids have very less kinetic energy, liquids have less kinetic energy, gases have largest kinetic energy. Then density, highest in solids, low in liquids, and least in gases. Packing of particles, most close in solids, less closely packed in liquids, and least closely packed in gases. The fourth state of matter is called as plasma. Plasma is considered as fourth state of matter. It consists of electrons and ions. These particles are found in ionized gases. For example, in fluorescent tubes like tube light, CFL, bulb, etc., the gas is present in the form of ionized gas. And this ionized state of gases is known as plasma. The plasma emits light and heat. The fifth state of matter is Bose-Einstein condensate. Okay? It was discovered by Indian physicists Satyendranath Bose and Albert Einstein. It is a state of supercooled gases. When gases are cooled at very, very low temperature and they are solidified, then this is called BEC or Bose-Einstein condensate. Now here are some questions for you to try to answer. What about a rubber band? Can it change its shape or stretching? Tell me, can rubber band change its state upon stretching?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it can change its shape. So is it solid or liquid or gas? Actually, solids have definite shape, but here rubber band is deformed on its shape is changed. So is it solid or not? When I am on presentation, the full screen is there. I am
So
unable to see your chats. So you just unmute your mic and tell your answer instead of chatting. Because
solid,
chat section is not visible to my
Solid.
screen. Where
solid,
solid. Why it is
Solid.
It is solid because it has melting point above room temperature. Though its shape is changed, but it has melting point above room temperature, therefore it is solid. Clear? Then what about sugar and salt? When kept in different jars, these sugar and salt take the shape of the container in which they are kept. We had studied that the solids do not take the shape of container. But when sugar or salt is kept in jars, they take the shape of the jar. So are these particles of sugar and salt solid? If yes, then why? So these particles of sugar or salt are solids because a very small particle, even a small crystal of sugar or salt has definite shape. Okay? The whole volume of sugar or salt is taking the shape of the jar, but the smallest crystal of sugar or salt have definite shape and size. Okay? It will not change its own. Therefore, sugar or salt kept in jar is a solid. What about a sponge? It is solid, yet we are able to compress it. Why? A sponge is solid, yet we are able to compress it because it has large empty spaces in which air is filled inside it. Okay? It has large empty spaces in which air is present. So when it is compressed, this air is expelled out and its shape and size get changed. But the very small crystal or very small particle of sponge have very less interparticle space. All right. There is a difference between large vacant spaces and interparticle spaces. Even in sponge, the interparticle spaces is very less, but it has large vacant spaces in which air is filled, because of which it can be compressed. Now, can matter change its state? Yes, of course. Matter can change its state. How we can change the state of matter? By changing the temperature or by changing pressure. There are two factors on which the state of matter depends. These two factors are changing temperature and changing pressure. So what is effect of change of temperature on states of matter? By increasing the temperature, a solid can be converted into liquid and a liquid can be converted into gases, that is vapors. Similarly, by decreasing the temperature, a gas can be converted into liquid state and a liquid can be converted into solid state. So increasing or decreasing temperature can change the state of matter. Now what is melting or fusion? The process of conversion of the solid into liquid state upon heating is known as melting or fusion. Melting of a solid takes place at a fixed temperature called melting point. What is melting point? Melting point is that temperature at which the solid gets converted to liquid state without further increase in temperature. Here, without further increase in temperature must be added. The temperature at which a solid is converted into liquid state without further rise in temperature is called melting point of the solid. What is the cause of melting? Upon heating, the kinetic energy of particles of solids increases with increase in temperature. They start vibrating faster. When these vibrations become too large and overcome the interparticle forces of attraction, then the particles of solid become free to move from one place to another place and they start behaving like liquids. So when the vibrations become too large, the particles overcome the interparticle force of attraction and start moving and behaving like liquids. This is the law of melting. What is latent heat of fusion? The amount of heat energy needed to convert 1 kg of a solid into liquid state. Remember, the mass of the solid must be 1 kg. So the amount of heat energy needed to convert 1 kg of a solid into liquid state at 1 atmospheric pressure is known as melting point. And atmospheric pressure and its melting point, then it is called latent heat of fusion. So latent heat of fusion is the minimum amount of heat energy needed by the solid of mass 1 kg to get converted into liquid state at 1 atmospheric pressure and at the melting point of the solid. Here there is a picture to determine the melting point of ice. In the jar we have taken ice cubes or ice. ठीक है, और ऊपर से हमने इसमें क्या लगाया, थर्मोमीटर. Initially the temperature was less than 0 degree Celsius. ठीक है, when we start heating, what will happen? The temperature becomes 0 degree Celsius where ice is there, and the temperature do not rise further unless and until the whole ice is melted. This means that ice has the melting point 0 degree Celsius. जब पूरा आइस मेल्ट हो जाएगा उसके बाद ही टेम्परेचर बढ़ेगा. जब तक उसमें एक भी स्मॉल क्रिस्टल आइस का रहेगा तब तक टेम्परेचर नहीं बढ़ेगा. This means the melting point of ice or melting point of water is 0 degree Celsius. Here in the second picture, how can we determine the boiling point of water? Same experiment is there. In a test tube, water is kept and it is heated by using a burner. Thermometer is fixed at the top. So when we start heating, the reading of the temperature thermometer starts increasing. It starts rising from 0 level. Okay? And after some time it becomes constant. When it becomes constant, the temperature in the thermometer is 100 degrees Celsius. And this temperature do not further rise, do not further increase. How so long we heat it? This means that the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. So next, boiling or vaporization. The process of conversion of a liquid into gaseous state upon heating at a fixed temperature called boiling point is called boiling. What is evaporation? The process of conversion of liquid into gaseous state at any temperature below the boiling point of liquid is called evaporation. What is the main difference? Boiling always takes place at fixed temperature called boiling point, and evaporation always takes at a temperature lesser than the boiling point of the liquid. What is boiling point? The specified temperature at which a liquid is converted into gaseous state without further rise in temperature is called the boiling point of the liquid. In more scientific way, it can also be defined as the temperature at which the vapor pressure, that means the pressure exerted due to vapor of the liquid, the vapor pressure of a liquid becomes equal to external pressure or atmospheric pressure. So the temperature at which the external pressure and the vapor pressure of liquid becomes equal is known as boiling point of the liquid. What is latent heat of vaporization? Same. The amount of heat energy needed to convert 1 kg of a liquid into gaseous state at 1 atmospheric pressure and at the boiling point of the liquid is called latent heat of vaporization. ठीक है, mass of the liquid should be 1 kg, pressure should be 1 atmospheric pressure, and that should be temperature should be the boiling point of the liquid. Then the excess amount of heat that is given to the liquid to convert it into gaseous state is known as latent heat of vaporization. Now what is cause of melting? ये हो चुका है पहले भी. Here in this graph you can see initial on the x-axis there is time in seconds, on y-axis there is temperature in degrees Celsius. Initially when the time was 0, the temperature is suppose minus 50 degrees Celsius. When we start heating, the temperature will start rising, temperature will start increasing. After some time, the temperature becomes equal to 0 degrees Celsius on y-axis. Clear? When the temperature becomes 0 degrees Celsius, suppose after 25 seconds, then the ice starts melting. Ice starts getting converted into liquid state, that is water. When the further time is increased, after some time, the water starts evaporating. ठीक है, तो आप देखिए जब तक 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस है तब तक क्या है, हॉरिजॉन्टल लाइन है. हॉरिजॉन्टल लाइन मींस only ice and water are present. But After 105 seconds, you can say, or any time, when the temperature further starts rising along this inclined plane, that means there is no ice, only water is present in this state, and this will be the temperature till 100 degrees Celsius. ठीक है, from 0 degree Celsius to 100 degree Celsius, the state of water will be liquid state. Then beyond 100 degree Celsius, the water starts boiling. ठीक है, अब वाटर क्या हो जाएगा, बॉईल करना चालू हो जाएगा. जब वाटर बॉईल होने लग गया तो 1 kg वाटर को पूरा वेपर में कन्वर्ट होने में, स्टीम में कन्वर्ट होने के लिए जितनी हीट दी, मतलब 205 सेकंड से लेके 745 सेकंड तक आपको भी एक्सेस दी, दैट विल बी कॉल्ड एज latent heat of vaporization. यहाँ से जहाँ से हॉरिजॉन्टल ग्राफ स्टार्ट है, ठीक है, आपने जो एक्सेस हीट दी to convert 1 kg of water into vapor is known as latent heat of vaporization. Why it is called latent heat of vaporization? Because during this interval there is no any rise in temperature, no any rise in temperature as shown in the thermometer. Similarly, when the temperature is 0 degree Celsius, ठीक है, as we heat, ice start melting, goes on melting, but the temperature in the thermometer is not changing. The temperature is not changing means the even is not shown in the thermometer. Therefore, in this duration, 25 seconds to 105 seconds. So, whatever amount of heat is given to melt 1 kg of ice into water will be the latent heat of melting. Now, freezing solid, the conversion of a solid into the conversion of liquid into solid state can be done by lowering the temperature. If you lower the temperature, liquids get converted into solid. The process is called freezing or solidification. The temperature at which a liquid is converted into solid state at 1 atmospheric pressure is known as freezing point. Then another is the process is condensation. The process of conversion of vapors or gases into liquid state by lowering temperature or by increasing pressure is called condensation. Here in the pictures you can see, in the first picture, water is freezed over leaves in winter when the temperature is very, very low. And here, suppose there is a glass bottle inside which some cold drink is kept. You can see the droplets of water on the surface. This process of conversion of vapors of water into droplets of water is called as condensation. Then water droplets get further condensed, converted into solid ice. This process is called freezing. What is sublimation? The process of conversion into gaseous state without undergoing intervening liquid and vice versa is called sublimation. For example, when CO2 gas is compressed high pressure at low temperature, it gets converted into solid CO2 also under liquid state. Here you can see in the picture, and it is solid carbon dioxide gas which is freezed into dry ice. When the pressure will be removed, this dry ice will get converted into carbon dioxide gas. Some other sublime substances are ammonium chloride, camphor, iodine, etc. Here is the process by which we carry out sublimation. There is a time range in which inverted furnace cap. यहाँ नीचे हमने क्या किया, iodine crystals heat करेंगे, iodine will evaporate, and after some time it will condense at the inner walls of the inverted funnel. Okay, you can see the sublimate or the particles of iodine, brown color particles of iodine in the inside wall of this funnel. This means solids directly get converted into gases and gases directly get converted into solids. This process is called sublimation. So this picture shows the interconversion of states, solids, liquids and gases. Solids when converted into liquid, the process is called fusion. Liquids when converted into solid, the process is called solidification or freezing. Similarly, liquids when converted into gases, it is called vaporization, and gases when converted into liquids, it is called condensation. Similarly, solids when converted into gases, it is called sublimation, and gases when converted into solid back, then it is called sublimation. So little more things are left for revision that we'll do in next class. So I'm coming back to the meat. We'll revise it fast in one more class and then we'll proceed further. So I'm stopping the presentation and taking the attendance once more.